this summer he's going to be going over to Dallas, Texas, and he will be participating in the Brain Health Institute. And he'll be there for 8 weeks. This is just a phenomenal opportunity and offer for him. And so we will be praying for him and supporting him as he goes into the 8 weeks of cognitive training so that he can bring that back to us at Second Chance. I introduce you now to Jimmy Durham.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is James, or I go by Jimmy, or Hey You, whatever works. But like Michelle was saying, I have an STBI, severe traumatic brain injury.
Jimmy, pull the microphone a little bit closer to you.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank
Can you hear me better now?
Okay.
All right, good deal. So like I was saying, I have an STBI, and in September it'll be my 4th year. And it's amazing how everything has a reason. I was in a very bad motorcycle accident in September 22nd, 2011. And I passed away in the accident. And it was unfortunate what happened. My family was very stressed, friends, but the power of prayer is what saved me. And I'll be honest with you, I went to heaven. I had never experienced before anything like it, and I was just under the thought process that heaven is, a method, an idea. But I understood that it was my mom's dad who actually caught me in my motorcycle wreck when I passed away, and he brought me up to heaven. And I was in there. It was extremely warm. It's very bright. I saw loved ones. The only dog I ever had growing up, Bull. He walked up. My friend, our family friend Bryson, who passed away in motocross at a young age, he walked up to me and I said, "Bryson, what are you doing with my dog?" And he said, "It's not your dog. It's my dog now. Bikes kill me. They're not going to kill you." And then it was my dad's grandparents, my great-grandparents, that came up to me. And Pops, ironically, one of my side effects with my TBI is I'm blind in the left eye. There are no coincidences. My great-grandfather was blind in his eye. So see, we're related. He walked up and he said, "James, it's not your time to go yet. I'll get you down there." And he was driving in his Chevy C10 pickup truck. And I started laughing at him. And I said, "If my dad sees me riding with you, I'm going to get in so much trouble. You can't drive." No way. And then his wife, Grandma, brought up her famous chocolate cake and said, "James, it's not your time to go yet. I want you to eat this and play with this." And she gave me the only toy I had when I went over to their house, which was a model Ghostbuster car. She said, "When the time's right, you're going to wake up." I was in a coma for 5 weeks, and then I was in San Antonio. Dr. Parra told my family that it's up to James and God right now. But James can't do anything, so it's all up to God, so you just need to pray. And that's the power of prayer. Like, God is always listening. We're never alone. He's just like the air we breathe, because just because we don't see it doesn't mean he's not there. And every one of us is blessed. We have a beautiful, supporting family, an amazing life, and the fact that you wake up every single day is proof that God's not done with you yet. Because when the time's right, he's going to call you home. That's just how life works. There's something for us all to accomplish. We all have, if you think about it, we're all angels. We all have beautiful wings to soar, to meet beautiful people, to explore our amazing world, and to make an impact. Because we have the ability to inspire others to be inspiring. Not by taking courses, not by making payments, just by being you. We're each one of a kind, and that is simply more than enough. So just understand that we're always going to meet people going through stuff. It's just part of life. We all have ups and downs. But anything and anyone, no matter who you are or what you're going through, would do anything just to have the life you have. So we're all extremely too blessed to ever be stressed, I promise you. Life is a gift. And if you think about it, the fact that it is a gift, we don't live in the past. We don't live in the future. We live in the present, and the present is a gift. So God gives us the ability to wake up each day and do our own plan, and the reason he has us here for. Because we're not in control. He's behind the wheel. He's going to navigate us to what's right. It's just how part of the plan is. And we always need to be positive. Like, for example, after I woke up from my coma, I had to learn how, I was a newborn. I had to learn how to be alive again. And I'm not trying to brag or win an award. That's not one of my goals. I had to go through a process, learn how to walk, talk, eat, write, understand. But not who I am, but also my mom had to introduce herself to me every time. "I'm Liz, I'm your mom." You can never forget your mom. Let's all be honest. It's permanent. But that aspect is, and with the side effect with TBI, or just in life itself, there always are going to be negative impacts and negative things where we want to be sad and be unhappy, but negativity is poison. We just always need to be happy and blessed with not only who we are, but what we have. Because no one else is going to be us. We all have role models, but we're each one of a kind, and that's all it takes. And the power absolutely unbelievable, not only with prayer, but from each other, because everyone is always hunting for more. For example, in 1 Corinthians 13:13 it states, 3 things will last forever, which is faith, hope, and love. And the greatest one of those is love. So don't ever deny it, don't ever stop giving it, because we can never get enough. And once again, it's similar to the air. We're always going to want more. We're always going to want more love. We're always going to help each other out. And for example, not only for us adults, but also for children. Even though children are 25% of the population, they're 100% of the next generation. So none of us are perfect, but together we can make a perfect example and make God happy of His creation. Because that's the whole point. We're all here for a reason. We all have a mission that every one of us has something different. But when the time's right, it'll unfold. And that's just how it goes. If there are any questions, feel free to contact me via the email on my website, or you can ask me afterwards. And also, if there's ever anyone that needs help with something, or someone to talk to in life, I'm always here to help. Because the power of prayers will help me. And I'm here brought back for a reason. All thanks to God, He was listening. And I would never be able to thank not only everyone that prayed for me, but also my caregivers, my beautiful supporting family, and both my hospitals, my therapists, because everyone becomes family. Everyone we meet, like I can't say it enough, there are no coincidences. People cross our path for a reason. Either we both learn, or friends that become family. Everything has a reason. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. And I hope everyone has had such an amazing weekend and just enjoys the life that they have been granted with. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come here.
Jimmy,
yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. Before you, will you tell them about how your parents recognized you at the wreck?
Yes,
or
ma'am.
the hospital?
Of course, if there's any questions, please let me know. With the wreck, on my motorcycle, my wallet was in the cover compartment underneath the back seat, so it wasn't on me. So I was an unknown. They assumed I was a 40-year-old man, unarmed 40-year-old man. I wasn't. I was 23, but age is great. And my mom they were in Dallas. I was in San Antonio. That's where I'm from, in Dallas. I was doing some work for my dad. And they were my parents had a phone call. I'd been in a wreck. They didn't give me detail. They just explained there's a wreck, you need to get here quick. So they drove from Dallas to San Antonio. That's about 5 to 6 hour drives without traffic. And then my mom was talking to the hospital, trying to ask if I was there. The lady said, you need to describe it. Well, one of my tattoos on my side has my nickname, which is Jimmy Jam. And she explained, she goes, well, I need to know because my name, I believe that they said was John Doe, your average unknown name. And my mom described that, and the nurse, came back. She goes, okay, we found him. He is in here. You need, that is him. Just get here. He's going into multiple surgeries. I had a total of 13 surgeries. And my mom, the nurse, I believe it was a nurse, asked my mom. She goes, that's great, but why does he have his name tattooed on his body? Hey, it worked out. I used to tell people, obviously I didn't know about my wreck. No one knows what's going to happen. But I told them I had my name there, so it's an ID. You can find me. And it worked out. My mom used to always think, oh, I don't like that thing. And that day she liked it. She was glad. She was glad. We all stand out. Are there any questions, by the way?
What's your hope for the future? Your plans? You're in school and.
My hope for the future, thank you, that's a great question. My hope for the future, like for example, before my wreck, I had never heard of TBI, that's abbreviation, a traumatic brain injury. I had never heard of it. But once you get one, you think about it every single day. And as you can tell, it's invisible disability. You can't tell anything's wrong. I'm not saying go get a TBI, that's not what I want you to do. But with the hope for the future is I want to not only help in the silence, because every 9 seconds for all ages, kids to adults, TBIs happen. Just the average in America is 2.4 million per year. When I got mine almost 4 years ago, it was 1.7, so it's drastically changing. So I want to help in the silence with that and, the truth about heaven and the power of positivity. I want to, help others like they help me, inspire others, and how beautiful life really is, how great we are. Yes, sir. And just help others. Yes, sir.
So what is your degree program? Is it a medical field or a social work field or what?
I'm sorry?
What is your degree program?
Oh, my degree is communication. Yes, sir. So, it's widespread, as you know, with communication and everything. But I like to do not only like when I talk to the nursing school at Gold Coast when they cover TBI, so I give them my experience with it, my daily activities, and my mom, because the TBI affects everyone, not just the family, but everyone that associates with someone that has a TBI. Everyone has to make a change, so we're going to all work together. But yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, what inspires you to go on life was born or hide yourself with sorry,
No, it's okay. Don't say sorry. Say sorry.
7 brain surgeries.
I'm very sorry. But the fact is, see, you're still here. You're not done yet. You see, you can inspire others. Just be being yourself, like I stated. You can make a difference. And what helps me every day is, before my accident, I was always very positive. Like, for example, if you see on the pass out, a picture of my brain, when my website is TBI One Love, I used to always sign everything in my email saying was, all right, one love. That meant, because if you think about it, there is only one way to love. There's not like, oh, I'm going to love you this way, we're going to change it. No, just like our Father, it's one love. For everyone and everything, we're all the same, even though we're different on the outside. We're all the same on the inside. We have the same Father, so there's no reason to draw a line. What helped me motivated to go every day, even when I was in the hospital, when I first started waking up, learning who I was, how to basically, like I said, be alive again. Just the fact I was waking up every day and being around people that were positive, because the people you hang out with, or the people you associate with, that's the kind of life you live. And it's unfortunate, and we have to make changes. Everyone knows we have to adapt to our environment, our lifestyle, and make a move. And what I've done is, not in a hateful way, but anyone that is negative towards my family, or negative towards people, or towards me, it's not that I don't care for them. I want the best for everyone, even those I've never met before. But I just can't associate with that. Not only is it bad for my brain, your brain doesn't need that problem, but also bad for your life. You can't be exactly who you are when you have peak. That's like weight, it weighs you down. So if you want to fly, you have to remove the weight. And it's that simple. And honestly, there's going to be times when people, no matter what the situation is, you're going to go through hard times. But always the power of prayer. Always pray to God, and you need to thank Him every single day when you wake up, because it's proof, like I stated, He's not done with you yet. Because if He wanted to, you would be. And the fact that you're still here, that's another proof that you're here for a reason. He's not done with you yet. And you're going to go through hard times. I've gone through hard times. Everyone knows it's natural. But you can keep moving forward instead of moving back. And if you think about it, it's like driving a car. You have a rear view mirror to look at the past, but you're not going backwards. You want to keep your car and drive. Keep moving forward. Don't go backwards. Because the past, stuff happens. It can be good and bad, but think of it as a lesson. It made you who you are today, and everything you go through every single day has a purpose, and will help, growing you to who you're destined to be. Because we each have a destination. We each have a path, and we're all created for a reason. Just like we're a seed, God planted us all in our beautiful world, and He's the sun. He's just going to grow us up. And we're all going to go through stuff. Sometimes we won't get water. Sometimes the ground may be dirty, but we're still going to blossom. That's the whole plan. That's if you think about it, nature is knowledge. If you're ever curious about anything in life or how you feel, look outside. The sun warms up. God warms us up. Trees grow. They adapt. We all grow and adapt. And our beautiful supporting families are the roots of a tree. No matter what happens to a tree, the roots never let go. Just like our family will never release us. No matter what we try to do or what gets done to us, they're never going to let go. So be blessed with who we are and the life that we have. I hope that helps. And if I can ever help you or anyone, please let me know.
I think Andy has a question.
Yes, sir.
You talked to it, I was going to ask you to explain the picture there.
Yes, sir.
But you may want to say a little more of that. This is your brain?
Yes, sir.
And what's the story today?
Okay. So the picture that you guys see on here, this is my brain. This is on December 10th of 2013 is when this was done. The last one I had of the CT MRI scan was November 29th in 2011 when I was leaving my second hospital, Tier Memorial Permanent in Houston, Texas. And I went back to University Hospital San Antonio to get they took half my skull out to let my brain breathe. So I went back to get it. And the last picture they had, the center parts of the brain are called ventricles. I didn't have ventricles. In the last one, it was a circle, and there was a ventricle down here. It looked like a smiling face, I'll be honest. My brain was happy. It's like, hey, you're doing great, James. Let's go. Let's go get that bone back. We're ready. So when I was going to therapy, Center for Neuroskills in Dallas, Texas, my neuro-ophthalmologist, my brain doctor, my mom kept asking to see a CT scan. We want to see the process, and he was saying nothing's going to change. The last you saw is how it's going to be. There's no chance or no reason to try and see it. Nothing, at least he's here. That's all that matters. So when I moved out here afterwards, was going to Gulf Coast, and my mom had, I want to get one. And I honestly did not even know what an MRI CT scan was. So I was like, I can Google something if you want. I don't know what you're looking for. Technology will help us out. And we finally got one done here. And this is the image. We went back to my house and they gave us a CD. And my mom, when we were watching the image, and when she hit, it was right at the end where my skull starts to close. And this is the image that showed up with the heart. And I had 12 scans done before this throughout my whole hospital time, my journey, and not one thing like this was similar at all. The ventricles would be blobs, circles, mushed together. And then there was this, the last one I had done. And you think about it with the heart, love was on my mind just a little bit. Just a little bit. But this has happened, and we all have an amazing brain. And that it's amazing how we're all different. But just like I said, this is just a living proof of nothing. Like God He's in control of everything and has a plan for us all. It's just His masterwork. Make me think. No problem. Yes, sir.
No question, just a comment. I was intrigued with your commentary about your time in heaven.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. And we all go through stuff in life where we wish we could go back and change it, either where we went, what we wore, what we had to eat, no matter what the circumstances. And I'll be honest with you, if I could go back 1,000,000 times, I would do the same thing over and over again. Because not only when I bought my motorcycle, but it all lines up. If I didn't buy my motorcycle, because gas was up to $5 a gallon, so I'm going to save some money. Thank the government for that one. So if I didn't buy my motorcycle, if my dad didn't open a new property in San Antonio and have me go down there to be a manager, if I didn't accept that, not only I wouldn't be where I am today at Florida State, where both my parents graduated, that was my life dream, and my mom's family. I never thought I'd be going there. That's why I went to San Antonio. I've been to multiple schools, wasn't working, and I was like, I'm just going to work, take some time. I went there to work. I stayed in San Antonio for a great month. It was a good month. And then obviously this accident happened, but it wasn't like it was a reason like she planned it. I didn't know the lady. Accidents happen. But there's a reason behind it. Like, look, I'm here today, and I got to witness that heaven is real. It's not just a story. That we're never alone. We all have absent loved ones that are now angels watching over us daily. But whenever we go through stuff in life and people pass away, just understand that they're in a better spot, and they're watching over us every single day. And when the time is right, we'll be with them. I promise you. We're never alone. Even when we think we are, we're never alone. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Jimmy, what advice would you give to the young people today about riding motorcycles?
Not only riding motorcycles, but I would say riding bicycles, scooters, anything at all, especially for the young age. You just always need to wear a helmet. Because a helmet is not just to protect your face, but most importantly, your brain. Because you can't get it under here. They don't sell that online. I tried. They don't work out that way. But it's the most important thing. And like with the TBI, it doesn't have to be just from being an accident. You can get it just from falling down. Like you can see, and that's a great question. Thank you for asking me that, Michelle. One of the survivors on my website, his name is Nathan, and he's about 2, and he recently just got one. He just got pushed over and hit his head lightly on the concrete, and at 15 to 35% of his brain is damaged. So it doesn't have to be, it can be from falling down. It can be from falling down at work, at home, falling downstairs. It can be anywhere. Just any contact with the head. And it doesn't have to be a severe, like mine, TBI. Just a concussion it's a mild TBI. You're doing brain work. So if there's any way you fall, you should always need to protect your brain and be glad that you have one. Because you don't want to go through the process of rebuilding it, or even worse, losing part of it. And once you make a change, you have to change. Not only who you are, but your daily function. Like for example with me, some cognitive stuff with understanding words. Like when someone talks to me, I have to ask them, what do you mean by that word? Because I don't understand. Also with reading, sometimes reading is very hard. But it has some advantages, all thanks to the power of God. Like before I had a learning disability, I always had my whole life. But now I don't have a learning disability. I have a brain injury, and that's a lot bigger than a learning disability, don't get me wrong. It's a God changing. And now, once again, I'm not saying go get a TBI to get the better aspect of it. That's not what's going to happen. Just everything has a reason. We all go through things, ups and downs. But God has all those places in our life. And when the time's right, we'll understand. Some of them, like for example, with my wreck, blessings in disguise. It was effective to not only my family, all around the world we had people pray. At the 16th chapter, we had people in Japan. They all were impacted by it. But that's also the power of love. We're all covered in love. We all have friends, families, all over. And when they pray, God is always listening. So, and like I tell everyone, I'm not trying to brag and win the Lord. I can't say that enough, but I'm living proof that heaven is real and that the power of God, what He can do, not just over a short period of time, forever, like constantly. He never gives up. He's never going to leave us alone. He's just always going to work to our advantage. And when we get moved away from stuff, for trying too hard, that's because it wasn't good for us, and it would have been constantly getting worse if we kept trying. So when one door closes, He opens another door. He changes our angle. So He is the best guidance we can get, and we don't have to pay tuition for that. Nothing wrong with that. Free class. That'll always work. Any other questions?
James, can you tell them how we kind of know the proof that you went to heaven, how you told us you had been in heaven with Opa, and the reason why that happened?
Yes, ma'am. We all see that proof. We always get to listen to our mom. That's my mom. I'm not going to let no. But so when I was at Tier Memorial Hermann, first off, are you guys familiar? Anyone here familiar with that hospital? What about Gabby Gifford? Mm-hmm. That's where she went when she got shot in Houston. This hospital, 6 floors, all they work at is brain and spine injury. That's it. She left when I woke up from my coma. My family was trying to find a second hospital from San Antonio. They couldn't find an opening, and there's about a 3 to 5 year wait at Tier. Gabby left. My family got a random phone call. We have one opening, take it or leave it. So I went there, and basically, like I said, they taught me how to be alive again. And with the TBI, one of my doctors, Dr. J, he was saying, their memory is a huge aspect of TBI. They're not going to remember stuff, so let's just see what he knows. And there'd be times when he would come talk to me, I'd be in my hospital bed. I wouldn't be talking how I am now or functioning. I would be laying down, had half my skull missing, and I could, mumble, if you will. And one of the common answers I said to everything was, "There you go." They'd be like, for example, "James, you hungry? There you go." "Okay, you want to shower? There you go." "Okay, yeah, we know what that means. There you go, yeah." I meant yes or no, or I don't know, for a lot of things. And the doctor came in, and my family was in my room, and he said, "All right, let's ask him, what do you know about your wreck?" And I said, "Well, I was going over the highway. The lady had her blinker on. She turned, and I thought she was doing a U-turn, so I got in the far right lane. She was not doing a U-turn. It was an accident, but my grandfather, when she hit me, my grandfather should have caught me. And he passed away in 1992. And I saw him, my bike was over where his piano is, and I said, "Opa, I got to get my bike." And he sat me down, like if I was him, and he massaged my shoulders, and he goes, "James, it's not your time to go yet. I want me to tell your family, and my family, and Betty, my grandmother that's still alive, that I love you and watch over you every single day. And can't wait to see you again." And then he picked me up and we shot up in the sky. My wreck was at 9:30 at night, and I saw the entire city of San Antonio lit up. And then we went up in the clouds, and I met those people that I said, and it wasn't just a memory. Like when people ask me, "Oh, is that childhood memories?" No, I touched all of them, I hugged them, I hung out with them. It was all real. It's all real.
James, but I mean about the scars, how it verified it physically because you didn't have any.
Oh, yes, ma'am. See, that's great. With the scars, like for example, I was just wearing like a golf shirt and shorts and my helmet and shoes, so my whole skin is supposed to be completely ripped off, road rash. But the only scars I have one on my leg. One of my bike shifter went through and broke my leg, and then I have obviously the scars where they removed the scars up here. And I have some small marks that are kind of hard to see. They've kind of faded, but the doctors were amazed. Like, we don't understand. Because they hit a light pole. Like, we don't understand how I hit and have any wrecks, and that's because my grandfather caught me. I don't have, like I said, any wrecks. I have very small scars. It's very hard to see. I mean, I could show you right here, but you feel like there's nothing there. It's only in light at a certain angle. But that's because my grandfather caught me. Not only I wouldn't be here if he didn't, because my helmet flew off and went 200 yards away, but also I would be completely covered in scars. You wouldn't be able to tell who I am, or I wouldn't be able to talk. But that's the proof, not only that heaven is real, but that God is real. And God, we place everything in God's hands like it's supposed to be, then He'll take control of it. Because His hands touch everything. There's not one thing that He can't help us out with. And it's not going to be an immediate change. It's just going to be in the process. He'll do it to the best of His ability. But it's not that He can. It's that for our lives to change, we must change. Because no one lives for us. And then He's just going to help adapt it to the proper way. Any other questions? All right. Well, I hope everyone has had a fantastic day. Thank you so much.